Dr. Badia here for the next chapter installation of the book Healthcare from the Trenches. This is chapter 11 entitled Medical Malpractice, Trial Lawyers and Tort Reform. This chapter is a little bit like a Stephen King novel for my colleagues. It really can be a horror story, but there is two sides to every coin. Important for patients to understand that. I will tell you that it's been estimated defensive medicine, in other words, physicians protecting themselves from potential lawsuits, can be responsible for up to 5% of our healthcare costs in this country, which already are pretty exorbitant, twice as expensive as the next country on the list. This chapter starts by talking about the infamous McDonald's coffee case. You remember the hot coffee? And I actually present the view from the plaintiff attorneys about why that case was actually pretty relevant and it did deserve a settlement. So it's not that us physicians feel that there isn't liability or malpractice on occasion that occurs, but it's really completely out of hand. And it's not just my opinion here. In fact, the majority of the chapter are colleagues who contribute from Philadelphia, which is probably the worst part in the country to practice, the highest malpractice rates, and even from Massachusetts, even from one of my old partners who was dragged into a lawsuit that took 10 years, and at the end, he prevailed, but yet that was 10 years of aggravation and time away from his practice, doing what we do best, which is helping people. It's not that physicians aren't often responsible. I talk about the case of Dr. Death. I try to not remember his name because it's such a terrible case. He's a spine surgeon who's in jail. It's one of the first times he was actually charged. Dr. Dunch in Texas was charged with homicide on a patient because what he did was so negligent and perhaps so egregious that the system came down hard on him. But those are certainly the exceptions. And this chapter will put malpractice in perspective. And a shout out to my colleague, a neurosurgeon at Medical Justice. MedicalJustice.com is a website trying to help us physicians, fight the, let's say, the unfair practices that often occur with malpractice. I hope this gives you some perspective, and we'd love to hear your feedback as always. Thank you.